Okay, so happy Thanksgiving to everyone. I know it's past Thanksgiving time, but I decided after a week later that I should still wish you all a happy Thanksgiving with your family and friends. This break was everything to me, and I pray and hope that it was everything to you because we all deserve to be happy and to be at peace. And this is what the holiday season is for me, honestly. It's a time for me to meet with friends and family and to really just relax. And that's very important. So, without further ado, let's go into this book, The Mastery of Love by Don Miguel Ruiz. So, the fourth chapter is called The Track of Love, The Track of Fear. And as always, I'm going to go through the things that I thought was most important within this reading. One of the first things that I underlined was we need to respect each other's dreams. And where that came from was Don Miguel started off the chapter with talking about, actually started off the whole book with talking about how all of us have our own individual dreams, our own journeys, right? And we all know this. So when you're with somebody else in a relationship, it's very, very important for you to remind yourself and to remind your partner that we're all living different dreams. All of us have different ideas. We all have different stories in our minds of how we plan our life to be. So when you're with somebody else, it's very important, regardless of what both of your dreams are, that ultimately you're respecting each other's wishes. Because when you don't do that, that's when things become terrible. Because the minute that you don't acknowledge what they want and what they need, they start to not trust you. It allows their heart to close off. So if you don't allow somebody to fulfill their true dream, their true mission, and to live their true life, even without knowing what their true life is and their true journey is, you're hindering them. It's important to love somebody for who they are. I said that in the last, video, but I think I might have to reiterate this because everybody thinks that they love somebody as who they are truly, but they don't realize that they're projecting a lot of things that's settled with themselves, It's a very hard journey. Even now I'm saying this, and I'm sure there are people who are going to listen to this and just be like, you know what, Shannon, you're full of shit. But I'm telling you, if you have reached the level that I have and others have to happiness, you are going to soon realize that no matter what, it doesn't matter how good of a person you are. If you think that your way of living is the ultimate way of living, it's going to harm the person that you love. And that's just what it is. So, according to the way the two people dream, they create the direction of the dream we call relationship. So, I don't know if anybody remember this, but I mentioned how, every single person has their own particular personal dream. So when you combine yourself with someone else, it becomes two dreams in one. And if you guys are truly meant to be together, or like how I feel, if you truly love someone, you will allow yourself to be put in a situation where you're going to do whatever it takes to make it work, which means changing yourself or changing your habits and changing your routine. So what they're basically saying is, according to the way the two people dream, they create the direction of that dream we call relationship. Every relationship we have with mom, with dad, with brothers, with sisters, with friends is unique because we dream a small dream together. Understand that? So what we have by ourselves is an individual dream. When we start to try to collaborate with others in a friendship or a relationship or a familyship, we're trying to create another world separate from the world that we have already created for ourselves. So, something else that I have highlighted is love has no obligations. Fear is full of obligations. So within the book, Don Miguel mentions fears. Because this entire book is about how we can crash down fears. How we can no longer fear the things that are actually going to bring us happiness. So they're saying that love has no obligations, fear is full of obligations. So when you get with someone, especially in today's society, love in general has obligations, right? I knew this before I even read this book. I told myself that yes, it is an obligation. And for some reason, the word obligation is looked down upon with all of us, right? Because it just gives us this innate fear of giving and of doing, right? And for some people, it might be laziness. For other people, it just might be, I don't even know. But for me personally, as a person of color, a woman, obligation is something that was never really fearful of me. I don't mind obligating myself to care for someone because 9 times out of 10, if I made that decision, it's because I love them with everything in my being. That's what it is. If I don't love you with everything in my being, when you have these obligations, you have these fears, it just turns me off. So I guess I see this from 2 different perspectives. There's the person who doesn't really know you and you throw these obligations on and they're turned off, or they might be turned on. And there's the person who knows exactly the sweet spot that you're in and they can give you everything that you need and you want when they're ready. But unfortunately, in that moment, they're not, because we have to love ourselves. You can't love others without loving yourself. And as stupid as that may seem to other people, because I was one of those people who was just like, I don't get it. As stupid as that may seem, it's true. You can't give more than you can give yourself. And understand that it all starts with yourself. So he also goes into this other quote, which says, love has no expectations. Fear is full of expectations. Very true again. When you have fear, you automatically assume that when you get into this relationship, they should know, or they should just do what is right. But the thing that people fail to realize is that most people don't know what's right and what's wrong, because we're all living our own individual journeys. There is no right and there is no wrong. And I remember the first time I heard that when I first came to New York and somebody had told me that in grad school there is no right and there is no wrong. And I was just like, you're full of shit. Because I was like, no, we all know what's right and what's wrong. And that's true. In the grand scheme of things, we know what makes us feel good and we know what makes us feel wrong, right? But there are some times when experiences make us feel wrong, but it's not wrong within itself. It's just uncomfortable. And I slowly had to realize that, because it's true. Not everybody has the same stance on what's right and what's wrong. And if I'm going to take it a step further, there really is no clear distinction between what is right and what is wrong, right? We know that killing someone doesn't feel good for us. We know that sometimes in certain situations, cheating on someone doesn't feel good. But that doesn't mean that ultimately things are wrong and things are right. It just means that in that moment, maybe it was wrong, maybe it was right. But nobody knows until they grow. So if you're trying to convince someone to be somebody who is going to make a strong stance on what is right and what is wrong, the only advice I can give you is to let them live. Because 9 times out of 10, they're living a better life than you. Because they're choosing to not allow something that they were taught from when they were a child to distinguish their lives. You shouldn't do that, even if it feels natural. Comfortability is a great problem within our society. Being comfortable with thinking what's right and what's wrong, and what I should do and what should I not do, hold us back. I can go on, but let me continue. He also mentions love is based on respect. Fear doesn't respect anything, including itself, and that is so true. Most of us in this society do not respect ourselves. We want respect from others, but we don't even respect ourselves. You don't respect yourself if you allow somebody else to hurt you. You do not respect yourself if you allow somebody even if you love them with all of your being, you don't respect yourself if you allow them to hurt you. And I know it's so painful and it's hard to accept, But it's true. These things that we allow other people to enter into our lives are decisions that we have made. We made the decision to let them stay there because for whatever reason we thought that it was going to make us feel better, or that we were going to learn a lesson, or that maybe, which is what the grand scheme is, oh, maybe he's going to realize what he lost. And that's bullshit. It's just pure bullshit. There are times when it's true. They are going to do those things that you want. But why want that? Why want the option? Why not want to be the only? You know what I'm saying? And it sounds like some Twitter shit, but it's true. You know, it depends on the person that you are. If you don't want to live this life and you don't want somebody to make you feel a certain way, you have all the power because you have the tools to make the world treat you the way that you deserve to be treated. Because only you can tell everybody else what you deserve. Nobody else knows what you deserve. And that's normal. And it's okay. But you can't live the life that you want unless you tell people. Moving on. Another quote that he has said was, self-pity comes from disrespect. One moment.